This is what period of time it's in. It's the period where the victims get to say, they've been hurting me for a long time. And I just ain't said nothing because I was trying to be strong and I didn't want to shame anybody.
Yeah, but what? No. You got to drown all of that out, because if you let somebody talk you out of a place that God has put you in, you are going to find yourself in hell. I know for a fact that what I'm doing is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. We're talking a large portion of my fans who are disenfranchised, who cannot get in the Volvo and go to therapy on the weekend.
Katt Williams just dropped a bombshell, and trust me, you're not going to believe what he said about Tyler Perry. If you thought things were all sunshine and rainbows in Hollywood, think again. Katt is coming for the crown, calling Tyler Perry out as a menace, and it's not just a little shade. This is some serious tea that's got the industry shook. Katt Williams straight up warned black male actors to steer clear of Tyler Perry, and his reasoning? Well, it's more than just a little bit scandalous. Hold tight, because we're about to dive into this explosive revelation that's about to rock the Hollywood boat. So, where did this all go down? Well, none other than Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp's podcast, y'all. Katt Williams came through with his usual real talk, no holds barred, and what he said about Tyler Perry might just have you rethinking everything you know about Hollywood power plays. Tyler Perry is the gatekeeper, Katt said, and when I tell you he wasn't mincing words, I mean it. According to Katt, Perry is sitting on top of Hollywood's black male actor game, but here's the catch. He's not lifting them up to superstardom like you might think. Instead, Katt suggests these actors are being trapped in a never-ending cycle of mediocre roles that keep them just below the radar, never reaching their full potential.
If you a gay person and you in there, put some other gay people on. Put somebody on. Or don't be wondering why people keep saying gatekeepers. Because clearly, y'all are keeping these gates.
Katt didn't just say these actors aren't becoming megastars. He's implying they're invisible in a sense. He made a bold statement saying, if you're working with Tyler Perry, you won't even need security to walk through a mall. That's right, no one's gonna know you despite being in all those films and TV shows. He painted this picture of actors who could walk around undisturbed, unseen, like they were invisible to the world.
We put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them can walk through the mall without security.
And here's where it gets even juicier. Katt's basically saying that working with Tyler Perry keeps you stuck in a Perry glass ceiling. What does that mean? Well, it's like you're stuck in a bubble where you can't move past the roles Perry's got you in. You're just another face in the crowd of actors that appear in his movies and TV shows. But once the project wraps, it's like, who even remembers you? Now, if you thought Katt Williams was just talking big talk and wasn't about to back it up, think again, honey. It seems like Katt's not just running his mouth, he's ready to go toe-to-toe with Tyler Perry in the real world. So, what's he doing? Well, it turns out Katt is expanding his footprint in Hollywood, and not in the way you might think. In a recent interview with GQ, Katt Williams made a huge announcement that has some folks speculating he might just be positioning himself to dethrone Tyler Perry as the black entertainment mogul of Hollywood. And no, this isn't just another Netflix special or stand-up tour. Oh no, Katt is leveling up in a major way.
It's been said by multiple sources that Katt has purchased a military base in Alabama to convert into a film studio. Katt purchased the property for right around $1.5 million.
He's just bought a former military base in Alabama. That's right, you heard me, a military base. If that doesn't scream, I'm coming for everything, then I don't know what does. This isn't just some small-time move either. We're talking about 90 acres of land, including 10 million square feet of indoor space that Katt plans to transform into his very own movie studio. I mean, Tyler Perry did the same thing back in 2015 when he snatched up Fort McPherson in Atlanta to open Tyler Perry Studios, but Katt might be playing his own game of chess here. Now, the details are still a bit fuzzy. Katt's publicist confirmed the purchase, but they kept things low-key, especially when it came to the price tag, because you know that's a whole other tea waiting to spill. What we do know is that the land in question is Fort McClellan, a Cold War-era military site, and it's reportedly worth about $1.5 million. That's a whole vibe, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. Katt didn't just buy the land, he's putting his vision on it. Katt told GQ, it's just not fair to put all that pressure on Tyler Perry. He can only do so much. And while that may sound like a simple statement, there's a whole lot of subtext there. Katt's stepping in with his own production studio, and it could seriously shake things up in the industry. If he pulls this off, he might just be setting himself up to take over where Tyler Perry left off, but better.
So basically his publicist said that he can't confirm or deny kind of where it is right now, but the Fort McClellan barracks have been for sale for quite a while for $1.5 million.
And honestly, can we blame him? Katt's been a staple in Hollywood for years, but the fact that he's thinking bigger, building a whole studio to rival Perry's empire, that's next level ambition, y'all. He's already proven he's a master of reinvention, and if this studio takes off, it could rival Perry's reach in the black Hollywood scene. Now, speaking of pressure, we gotta talk about Tyler Perry's reputation because, let's be honest, it's complicated. Y'all, we're talking about a multi-millionaire mogul who turned a stage play career into an empire, owns owns his own jet, and of course has that massive Tyler Perry Studios empire. So why are people still out here hating on him? And why do black actors seem to have some beef with the man? First off, let's talk about the most glaring thing that has a lot of people up in arms: the portrayal of black men in Perry's films. A lot of critics, particularly within the black community, feel that Perry's work leans heavily into the stereotypical, sometimes negative portrayal of black characters, especially black men.
I don't know, man. It's just like Tyler Perry, he paints a very negative portrayal of black men. We ain't that bad. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, Tyler Perry makes us seem like we ain't shit.
Let's be real. When was the last time you saw a black male lead in one of Perry's films that didn't come off as problematic or downright villainous? Think about it. Steve Harris in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, straight up nightmare husband, Blair Underwood in Medea's Family Reunion, a terrible fiance. And let's not even get into how dark-skinned black men are often cast as the villains or the bad guys in these movies. It's a trend.
It's just like people who got their lives together. Remember one movie, dude from Juice and Girlfriends, I can't remember his name. Dude looked like Mano. What's the dude's name, man? He was Raheem in Juice, I don't remember. But he was a dude that was wearing a suit and tie all of the time. But he was going around girls and somebody killed him. It's like, damn, Tyler Perry.
Now, some might say that Perry is just showing real-life struggles, but when you keep seeing these negative portrayals, you can't help but wonder if there's a deeper issue, especially when other directors like Spike Lee have been pretty vocal about it. Spike has called out Perry's work for what he terms coonery and buffoonery, accusing him of pandering to negative stereotypes just to get big ratings. And let's be honest, those Medea movies are always breaking records, but are they really uplifting the community, or are they just perpetuating harmful imagery?
A lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money, breaking records, but we could do better.
Let's talk about Spike Lee because, y'all, his beef with Tyler Perry goes way back. It all started around 2009 when Lee called out Perry's work for its stereotypical depictions of black people. Spike wasn't having it, saying that Perry's content was reinforcing negative stereotypes about black culture. He even went so far as to compare Perry's films to the Idiot Box, which, yeah, ouch.
And when I watch the games on TNT, I see these two ads for these two shows. I'm scratching my head.
No, I mean, look, I'm not saying we're talking. Let's not give them fodder for tabloid. I'm not saying we're talking about Tyler Perry, but those are the shows that we're talking about. If we're talking about that.
But here's where it gets real juicy. Perry did not sit back quietly and take that criticism. Oh no, he clapped back hard. When asked about it on 60 Minutes, Perry went off and said, "I am sick of hearing about damn Spike Lee. Spike can go straight to hell." And of course, this sparked a whole public feud.
Spike Lee. So he called some of your movies coonery and buffoonery. How'd you receive that?
In the beginning, I was really hurt by it and frustrated by it because I didn't understand, where it was coming from and what it meant. And so I try to find truth. If there's truth, I'm okay with it.
Was there any?
No.
And even though Perry is rolling in money and sitting on one of the most successful entertainment empires in Hollywood, there are still a lot of voices in the industry that aren't buying his narrative. Take Chris Rock, for example. He pointed out that in Perry's movies, there's always a trend where dark-skinned black men are cast as the villain, the bad boyfriend or the abusive husband. But when you think about it, who are the heroes in these movies? It's always the light-skinned or mixed-race characters, and that's caused some serious backlash for Perry, especially from those who point out how he's contributing to colorism in the industry.
But that's not all. Tyler Perry's critics aren't just coming from seasoned voices like Spike Lee and Chris Rock. There's also a growing movement among younger, forward-thinking creatives who are calling out what they see as a lack of depth in his work. Take Justin Simien, for example, the filmmaker behind Dear White People. Simien's debut feature doesn't hold back, delivering a biting critique of Hollywood's depiction of black stories, and Perry is squarely in the crosshairs. In one standout moment from the Dear White People trailer, a character declares, "Forget Hollywood, forget Tyler Perry." That's followed by another character quipping, "Can we get a film with characters instead of stereotypes wrapped in Christian dogma?" And honestly, that line hits hard. It's a direct jab at the formulaic approach Perry is often criticized for, relying on predictable tropes and oversimplified moral lessons.
Mr. Sin, dating a black person to piss off your parents is a form of racism.
The show is racist.
Black people can't be racist. Racism describes a system of disadvantage based on race.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. Simien's work reflects a broader shift in the black creative community. Filmmakers like him are pushing for narratives that go beyond surface-level depictions of black life. They're rejecting caricatures and cliches, and instead, they're bringing stories to the screen that reflect a fuller, more complex spectrum of Black experiences. To make matters worse for Perry, this new wave of storytelling is resonating with a younger audience, one that's tired of seeing the same old stereotypes in mainstream media. While Perry's success in opening doors for Black talent can't be denied, this new generation seems intent on rewriting the playbook altogether.
But wait, there's more. Remember that time when Dave Chappelle went on Oprah and dropped some serious knowledge about Black men in Hollywood being pressured to wear dresses? He was talking about how so many Black actors, including himself, have been asked to dress up as women for comedic roles.
Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every Black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me.
Now, Chappelle was not having it. He refused to wear a dress for a scene in a movie, and it became a whole thing. But here's the kicker. Tyler Perry is known for wearing that dress as Medea, and he owns it. He says it's just a work uniform, and that no one's forcing him to do it.
You're right, so why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress.
Look, girl, I need you to get up, honey.
Go away.
Never had no child talk to me like this before. Lord. Honey, I got to bring y'all down to...
But is it really just a uniform? Or is there something deeper here? Is Perry pushing this image of the big sassy woman to appeal to audiences? Or is he just playing the game to get ahead? It's a valid question because, let's be honest, if he didn't have the Medea franchise, would he be in the position he's in today? As if the drama with actors and directors wasn't enough, let's talk about Tyler Perry's workplace. Y'all, there have been rumors swirling for years that Perry studios are toxic. Writers have complained about unfair treatment, and even union issues have popped up. Take the time when he fired a bunch of writers from House of Pain just because they asked for union contracts. Some say it was a slap in the face, especially when Perry had made billions off those shows.
I did have a writer's room and did have a situation. It was the worst experience I've ever had in my career dealing with that whole situation. So and the ratings for my shows went down when I had those people because people know my voice.
And honestly, let's not forget the toxic work environment rumors that keep following him. Yes, Perry's a mogul, but is he as supportive of Black talent as he wants us to believe? There's a whole lot of questionable behind-the-scenes stuff that's been raised over the years, and even though he's created a lot of jobs for Black actors and crew, some people feel that the way he runs his empire is a bit problematic.
Less money now than we were making 10 years ago.
And y'all know about this writer's strike that's going on? I bet Tyler Perry is in his office saying, "This is why I don't hire writers."
Now, y'all, just when you thought things couldn't get messier, Tyler Perry added a whole new layer to this drama. And no, it's not the kind of drama you can wrap up with a bow like a Medea movie. It's the kind of real talk that's got the industry in a chokehold. So recently, Tyler Perry went on Keke Palmer's podcast, Baby, This is Keke Palmer, and he stirred the pot by calling his critics highbrow and using an old school racial term to describe Black people who don't vibe with his movies. Yep, he did that. He told Keke Palmer that a big chunk of his audience are folks who are disenfranchised, people who can't just hop in the Volvo and go to therapy on the weekend, basically people who are dealing with real-life struggles. He contrasted them with critics he sees as highbrow, you know, the ones with their noses up looking down on everything. Tyler's whole point was, who are these highbrow critics to decide which Black stories are important?
So you've got this highbrow who is all up in the air with his nose up looking at everything, and then you got people like where I come from and me who are grinders, who really know what it's like.
But hold up, the real tea came when Perry started going in on critics who discredit these grinders, the everyday people from the struggle. Perry talked about how his people, the ones whose mothers were housekeepers, beauticians, caregivers to white youngins, are the ones whose stories matter. And honestly, I get where he's coming from in terms of wanting to uplift real Black lives, but that comment did not sit well with a lot of folks.
Whose mothers were caregivers for white kids and were maids and housekeepers and all of these beauticians. That don't discount these people and say that their story don't matter. Who are you to be able to say which Black story is important or should be told? Get out of here with that bullshit.
Yes, and that is what we come up against. It's like you said, the respectability politics that we're always pushing up against, which at the end of the day, what we are facing and what we are oppressed against, it doesn't matter how well you speak, it doesn't matter how well you walk, it doesn't matter how well you do anything. If somebody's going to not like you, they're going to not like you, period. Right. So holding ourselves to these unbelievable standards that stop us from being able to tell our true stories and connect to one another, it only, like you said, puts us in a personal hell and doesn't allow us to really be all that we're meant to be because we're too busy trying to fit into to somebody else's idea.
Preston Mitchum, a black activist and commentator who stars on Bravo's Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, didn't hold back. He came at Perry's comments with a whole lot of energy, saying, "Yeah, because writing a movie where a black woman gets cheated on, acquires HIV, and ends up physically disabled is really the groundbreaking black story we need to see." He also pointed out that Perry is a literal billionaire, yet he's calling critics highbrow, which just made people shake their heads. Y'all, Tyler Perry is really out here making waves, isn't he? But here's the big question. Is Tyler Perry really a menace to the industry, or is he just misunderstood? Why are so many black actors and creatives turning their backs on him? And most importantly, does Tyler's empire-building approach to black storytelling come at the cost of authenticity and respect for the community? I want to know what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss our next video because it's going to be juicy. Next up, we're diving into what Monique really said about Oprah and Tyler Perry and the dark connections they share in the industry. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.